Welcome inside Callahan Hall. I'm Denny Kapp, and it's my pleasure to be joined by the newest member of the Detroit Mercy women's basketball staff, Madison Ristovski. Madison, welcome.
Hi, I'm happy to be here.
Well, Madison, you've been a staple here at Callahan Hall watching this team play for the last few years. How special of an opportunity is this for you to start your coaching career here at Detroit Mercy?
I'm super excited. I've been coming to games here for years with both my sisters playing here, and I always wanted to be a part of this program just because I think they represent, hard work and integrity and a really fun atmosphere. So I'm really happy to be here and have this opportunity.
Well, head coach Bernard Scott has stressed that you'll be working with the point guards initially, and you've had experience watching these point guards from the stands. Your sister Lola, you've seen Gracie, there's some freshmen now. How much of an advantage is it for you to have been able to see these girls from afar and know what you're getting involved with before you even take the job?
Yeah, I think last year I tried to make it to every home and away game, and it's funny because now when we talk about things from last year, I know exactly what we're talking about because I've seen these players, I know the sets, and I think it is an advantage because I'll be able to see their growth from watching them last year to everything that we've talked about in the office to implementing it on the court and seeing that as preseason goes on, as the season goes on.
You've obviously had a chance to play with your sister Lola up until the highest level of high school basketball at the Breslin and the championship level. You've played against her when you were at the University of Michigan. I'm sure the obvious question a lot of people have is, well, how does that relationship work from former teammate to sister to now player coach? It's got to be a different dynamic, but one I'm sure you're looking forward to indulging in.
Yeah, it is very interesting dynamic, but the one thing about me and Lola, I think that we kind of have the hardest relationship because I'm her oldest sister and I hold her the most accountable out of anybody in the family. And I always tell her, I'm not going to baby you. I'm not going to, be your friend. I'm going to tell you how it is and what you need to work on. So even in that state championship when she missed 2 layups and I was like, come on, get it together. Even now, just helping her with her personal growth and trying to hold her accountable for everything she does, making sure that she's in the gym, doing what's necessary to help the team, and just treating her like a player, like an adult, like who she is.
One of the comments you made when you got the job was how excited you were to work under head coach Bernard Scott as a first-year assistant coach getting into this. What is it about Coach Scott that you hope to draw from and to make you a better coach as you get started?
Yeah, I first met Coach Scott, obviously, when he got hired a couple years ago, and I immediately was drawn to his personality and just how welcoming he was and how much he cared about the girls. And even from other coaches, I've heard nothing but great things about Coach Scott. So I knew that coming in here, I really wanted to work for him because of his care and compassion for the team and how he's really selfless. He always puts the team first, and he does everything he can for the girls. So that's something that I'm eager to learn from, and how to be a coach that puts his kids first and put the assistants first and put the program first, because ultimately that's what he does.
I had the pleasure of calling a couple of your games in high school, and one of the notes that I took from your coach at the time was that while you were in high school, you were coaching youth basketball at the time. So this isn't your first rodeo, but your father also played overseas and coached for 10 years in the MHSAA. Your uncle also coached. I guess the coaching apple doesn't fall far from the tree in the Ristovski family, does it?
Yeah, you're right. I've been coaching for a really long time. Even in high school, I was teaching classes, and throughout college, I was helping at camps, and this past year I was coaching on the weekends. I love it. I love everything about it because I think the biggest thing that I really enjoy is giving back and being a positive female role model to kids, and just working with kids is one of my passions, and that I'm able to do it now at a higher level with girls that are about to go out in the real world. I think that's really important that they have somebody that they can talk to help them learn those life lessons.
You got a couple really interesting highlights in your first year as an assistant coach. First, you get a chance to go to Puerto Rico, and then when you come back, you'll get a chance to face your alma mater at the University of Michigan. And I'm sure before you even get into the conference season, the first couple months are going to be a lot of fun for you.
I'm super excited for the Puerto Rico trip. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We face a couple really good teams down there, and I think it's a cool adventure for the girls that probably have never, left the United States to do something like that. So I'm excited about the trip. I'm so excited, and I can't wait to play University of Michigan here. I think it'll be a fun game, but to be honest, I really want to beat them and just kind of take it to them.
Hey, last but not least, this coaching staff is very polished, very good. You're the new person on the staff, but none of them have Michigan roots. They're from out of state. You're from Michigan. You played your high school basketball at Grosse Pointe Woods University. Look at, you were Miss Basketball in the state of Michigan, Gatorade Player of the Year your senior year, all those accolades, and you were at the highest stage there at the championship level as well. How much can you help in terms of when it comes to recruiting local kids? Maybe they recognize you or at least recognize your story, and that's a personal touch that unfortunately the coaches don't have because they're from out of state as polished as they are.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest advantages of working in Michigan and just having the contacts that I made throughout high school and even in college. And I'm able to reach out to those coaches and reach out to those players because I am from here. So when we talk about Michigan high school basketball and we talk about the great schools like Country Day, Grosse Pointe North, I know those coaches. I've known them since I was even playing in middle school and high school. So I think that's super great. I'm glad to still be in Michigan because those, I think, those recruiting contacts are really going to help us bring those players to Detroit Mercy.
Well, Madison, there's a number of really interesting storylines going into this season. You're certainly one of them. It was a pleasure to sit down for a few minutes with you. Thanks and all the best.
Thank you so much for having me.
Madison Ristovski here at Callahan Hall. Make sure you stay tuned all season here at DetroitTitans.com.